Clinical Monday, the best day to begin a healthy week. It's a good morning to you and a warm welcome to yet another exciting edition of a Clinical Monday. Right here on Oran Poppins Chats. We are live on Oran Poppins Facebook page, also on our X account. It is at @in_health with the hashtag at Clinical Monday. And thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nkosi. Behind the scenes, a technical producer, it is a happy Phaleng, and to help me speak on this particular topic, I am joined by, well, she's no stranger to the platform, or courtesy of Oran Poppins Tshwane. It is our clinician sister. Clinician, how do you feel about being called a sister? You are.
That's fine.
Okay. I got to know who is a Sister Bonolo. Sister Bonolo Legwete is here to speak to us about hepatitis A, B, and the difference, treatment, and management. Do you have any questions when it comes to hepatitis A, B, any other kind of hepatitis, the differences or management? Please make sure that you leave your comments on the comment section below. Also on our YouTube channel, it is at Oran Pop In. That's where you can find an archive or a library of different kinds of conversations that we've been having on a Clinical Monday. So it dates back to about 3 years ago, so there is a lot to put you up to speed with what we've been talking about. Anyway, let's just jump straight into it. Bonolo, thank you so much for your time. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm great. We're talking hepatitis A, B, or rather hepatitis A and B, the differences, the treatment, and the management. So just the beginning, what are hepatitis A and B, and, you know, on which category perhaps maybe of STIs do they fall?
Okay, so I'll start with hepatitis A.
Yeah.
Hepatitis A is actually not an STI.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get it from contaminated water, food. Basically, it's like a oral fecal transmission.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody who has hepatitis A poops into the water and then you drink it, it's contaminated, or the food, maybe let's say vegetarian grew from the water that was contaminated. That's how you get it. And then the hepatitis B, that's the STI.
Yeah.
That one falls under incurable STIs.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually can get it for life.
Yeah.
It can either be acute or chronic sometimes.
Acute, what does that mean?
Acute means it's a short illness.
Okay.
And then chronic means lifelong.
Ooh. So like HIV, so to speak, because you need to take it, I mean, in terms of the treatment, or rather in terms of how long does it take for it to exist in the host, it's forever, basically.
In some cases,
Yeah.
yes, it is forever. In other cases, it can go away on its own without any treatment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to then speak about the differences. I mean, you said it falls under incurable STIs, so it means it can be passed through sexual transmitted, or rather through sexual intercourse or encounter. But any other ways that it can be transmitted besides sexually?
So it's like you get it from contaminated bodily fluids, including your saliva, including your blood. Blood, it can be from child to mother, through the placenta. It can be when you test the blood. It can be from semen. It can be from menstrual bleeding, vaginal fluids. Yeah.
I mean, so it's okay. I mean, we don't really. I want to say it's not. I don't want to say it's not common, right? But it's or rather. Maybe I'd say it's the information that is out there. We really are focusing on the syphilis, gonorrhea, and but not so much on hepatitis B. Perhaps maybe that's why my, how surprised I am in terms of where it exists, or how it can be transmitted. And like it's like not only sexual, but in any other or some other ways of it being transmitted. How common is it then in terms of it? Can I say in existence? But how common is it with other STIs or outside of the STIs that we normally see?
Yeah, you are right. Hepatitis B is not that much, doesn't get much exposure as compared to your gonorrhea and chlamydias, because in most cases it's common in children. So you are most likely to get hepatitis B through the first 5 years of life as compared to when you're an adult. So with the Department of Health having implemented the hepatitis B immunizations into the immunizations at your young age, where you get your 4 doses of immunization, and also it being mandatory for healthcare workers to also get hepatitis B immunizations when they work in a healthcare setting. It kind of makes the prevalence very low. Added with the fact that if you get it in your adult life, there's less chances that you'll show any symptoms. So most people are asymptomatic and not tested.
I was about to say, so somebody can actually live without showing symptoms. I mean, they could be infected with it and then not show symptoms. Okay, so what? Let's talk about the symptoms. What would be the symptoms? I mean, if asymptomatic, that means you're not showing symptoms, right? So what then would be the symptoms of hepatitis B?
So your symptoms would be like your most common things: your nausea, vomiting, abdominal pains, discoloration of your skin, so you turn yellow, your eyes and your skin turn yellow, jaundice, and you can also like feel very tired, which are commonly known symptoms for any other thing.
I want to say, how do you test for it, but we'll get to that. Are these symptoms then different from one person to another? So if perhaps in males and females, or it's more, I guess the symptoms are more similar or common in males as opposed to females. Like, let's break down the symptoms and how they vary from one person to another.
Okay, like I said, it's very common that people won't show any side symptoms, but if you do, it depends on the severity of the progression of the hepatitis, not necessarily because you are male or female.
Got you.
So the more severe, the more you can have symptoms, and the less sometimes you don't have, and it even goes away on its own without treatment. Yeah.
I wonder what is in our food or in our drinks, or actually what is in hepatitis B that makes it go away on its own. Let's talk about how long does it take. So we know that with HIV, there is a specific time where now the symptoms, as the virus progresses, then it shows on your body. With hepatitis B, how long after infection, or exposure does it take for it to show, the symptoms to show on a body?
Okay. So the incubation period for hepatitis is around 30 days to 180 days. So during that period, people normally don't show symptoms. After that, the symptoms may come. In most cases, so especially in first exposures, nothing happens. So you get the virus, incubates, replicates, and then no symptoms. In most cases that happens, probably it's going to be after the incubation period, which is about 180 days.
Okay. Do you think that you might be infected with an hepatitis B? I mean, if it doesn't show, how do you even go about testing for it? Let's actually ask that. How do you? Can I just, I want to say, I feel like I might have hepatitis B because I don't know the person that I've been in contact with. If they have it, especially if they are asymptomatic, then I feel like, no matter what, if then there is this thing that is called hepatitis B, I might have it. What are the first steps that I need to take to make sure that I get tested for it?
Okay.
And actually also, while you answer that, how do you then test for it? Is it blood? Do we take sputum? Take us through that process also.
Okay. Yeah. So because hepatitis B can go asymptomatic, we do, it's implemented as the mandatory test for someone who tested HIV positive. So when you go on PrEP, so when you go on PEP, because we say that because you were exposed through sex and you might have gotten sexually transmitted infections, we therefore included as part of the baseline test. So we draw bloods, we take it to the lab, and then they run the test. And then ideally, you don't just rock up and just say, I just want to check.
I want to check for hepatitis B. Yeah.
Like people usually do. It comes to the clinic, be like, can I check for everything? It's not cost effective.
Got you.
It's not that it's not allowed. It's not cost effective. In most cases, health-wise, because we are trying to be cost effective, we test for everything that's necessary.
So I can't rock up and say I want to test for everything, including any other thing outside of HIV. Let's talk about how it can be controlled. I just tested. It's after the incubation period. Okay, maybe I see the symptoms, wada. Then how do we control it based off of somebody that, when it's chronic, how is it? How do you control it? Do you deal with per symptom? Like if it's a jaundice, then we take medication for jaundice. If it's whatever other symptoms that would be there, how do you control hepatitis B?
Okay, so there is no specific treatment for hepatitis for herpes. Sorry, for hepatitis B. So you are right, it's treated as per symptom. So whatever that you're having at the moment, we deal with that one because there is no specific treatment for it. But then, however, for people who are HIV positive, there is a drug called tenofovir that is already part of the regimen 1 of your ARVs that controls the hepatitis. So for people who are HIV positive, we put them on that regimen and also make sure that if it happens that we need to switch them to something else, we do not take them off the tenofovir. So that if we take them off, the liver will flare up. Because remember, hepatitis affects the liver. It inflames your liver. That is why it can also lead to liver cirrhosis, your liver cancers and stuff.
Got you. What are some of the questions that you have? We invite them on the comment section below when it comes to the topic. We're speaking about hepatitis B, the treatment and the management. And Sister Bonolo Legwete is here to understand, or rather help us understand what happens when one is infected with it. And I guess prevention would be similar to use a condom. You refrain from those. I think control and management pretty much the same thing. So we'll skip that question, but ask then what are the chances of reinfection. So we know with HIV, a person can be reinfected. You can get a different strand of HIV. With hepatitis, is it the same thing or?
No, currently there's only hepatitis on its own have 5 strains, A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So there is no different strain for B. B is a strain on its own. So once you have it, you have it. So you can actually get reinfected unless if it went away on its own and then you got exposed again. So in situations like that, that's when we can talk about infection.
I got you. Then what could potentially happen? Okay, you also answered this one because you said it can go away. But I wanted to say, what happens if, what could potentially happen if hepatitis B is not treated? Let's say it did not go away on its own. Then what happens to a person?
It can lead to death. Because remember, it can lead to liver failure.
Oh.
Then liver is like a vital organ.
Yeah.
So if that one doesn't work, then it can eventually lead to death.
Would HIV infection then be more severe? What do I mean by that? I mean, if somebody has hepatitis B and then they're HIV positive, can the hepatitis B be worse? As opposed to somebody who does not have HIV.
Yeah. So hepatitis B progress more rapidly in an HIV positive person as compared to an HIV negative person. So the common to what people may think that maybe the hepatitis B will make the HIV worse is actually the opposite. The HIV makes the hepatitis worse. Because remember, the HIV makes your immune system weak.
Yeah.
So whatever another thing that you acquire, you will have more risk of it progressing as compared to a person with a higher immune system that is not compromised by HIV.
Okay, so yesterday we were talking about TB last week with Rakhomu. They spoke about how, when it comes to TB and HIV, how those are treated, but they need to make, what? He used a word, an English word that is now running away from me. But I wanted to say, when then a person is presenting with both, do you deal with both HIV, especially if the viral load is extremely high, and with hepatitis B, or you deal with one while you will then deal with one when the other is better? So if the viral load is low and then the CD4 count is up, and then you can now start dealing with hepatitis B, or you treat them simultaneously at the same time.
So because, as I already mentioned, that the tenofovir that's already in your ARVs is treating the hepatitis, so it's like simultaneously.
Okay. Treatment, I think we spoke about that, so there's no treatment for it. How can we avoid it? We spoke about that as well, because you say we need to refrain from, engage in safer sex because of that. And maybe let's talk about the benefits of testing and when it's found early, what are those benefits? And we'll wrap it up.
So the benefits of anything found early is that you will get, with hepatitis, if you find it early, there's no symptoms.
Well,
yeah. But then if you're on PrEP, for example, or if you're on ARVs, be it PrEP, be it PEP, be it you're HIV positive, you get it to no fever, so that's the good part of it. And then, yeah, if you have symptoms, good, at least we can stop it from progressing to be fatal and maybe slow down the progress, because you can't really cure it. So at least we slow down the progress of it causing your liver damages and stuff. And then in addition to the management, in as much as you can get it from sexual transmission, you can also get it from your sharp objects that are used in the hospital settings or in the communities, because the ones, if I inject someone with who has hepatitis with an injection, be it I'm administering medication or we're doing bloods, and then that needle ends up somewhere where it's exposed and it can injure another person. The hepatitis can actually survive on that thing for about 7 days.
What?
Yeah. Unlike HIV.
Yeah.
So it can actually survive on that thing for about 7 days. So another thing would be try to avoid sharing needles or sharp objects and stuff, and also a healthy diet and proper hand wash, especially if you have been exposed to blood or any other bodily fluids, and drink plenty of water.
When you said healthy diet, I was like, but what about hepatitis A? Because it can be in the diet.
So I would say eat vegetables from a reliable source.
Eat vegetables. Does it? Do you know? And it's just an extra question. If it's on pets, because some people are pet owners. If pets can eat, I don't know. They can, if they are carriers of the virus.
Yeah, like I said, it's from feces, not human feces, but feces.
But feces in general.
Yeah. So if the pet is drinking the water from contaminated things, feces is feces.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Really, that was thoughtful. It's leaving me with a lot of thoughts. And I mean, we speak about these things on a daily basis, but we really don't get to sometimes jab at them like we just did. And so the Bonolo has just given us the 411. What are some of the questions that you have when it comes to any other STIs or specifically hepatitis A, B? Oh, so does it mean that the entire, not just hepatitis B, right, the entire hepatitis, I wanted to say, can it exist in objects, sharp objects, same as hepatitis B, or is that like only for hepatitis B?
For hepatitis B and C, which are blood-to-blood transmission, that one you can get it from your blood, your fluids, sharp objects. Your A, D, and E, which is fecal oral, which means you'll have to actually ingest it.
Got you.
Or maybe through anal, oral, anal sex.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Now you know. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next Clinical Monday as we look at yet another clinical topic. I think Mpox is coming up, so so make sure that you are in the lookout for that. But besides that, make sure that you catch up on all our conversations that we've had when it comes to all things HIV and management. And until the next episode, we'll see you then. Happy streaming. Bye.